Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Today we are talking about modal verbs, and this lesson is going to be longer than usual because we have many things to discuss. So let's start. I'm showing you the materials, and here we can see that, we all remember modal verbs, right? So they are such verbs as can, could, may, might, must, will, would, shall, should, and ought to. So they are modal verbs. What it means? They don't have suffixes like s, ing, or ed, and we can use them as auxiliary verbs too. So here we have an example. He should stay here. We don't have any endings. It's not he should stay. He should stay. Also, they are followed by a bare infinitive. A bare infinitive, he should stay, I can go, I must go, except for ought, which is followed by to infinitive. So ought is usually used with to. They may come tonight. We don't see any to infinitive here, it's bare infinitive. But if we are talking about ought, it's you should, you ought to get a job. So then let's talk about the functions they play when we can use them. Ability. When we talk about ability, we can use these three ones. It's can, could, and be able. So here we have an example. He was able to climb up the tree. And can is used in the present and future. I can meet you tomorrow. I can speak, I can walk. So this is physical ability to do something. Could is past tense of can, and we can use it for past actions. Some abilities that we could do in the past or couldn't. We also use be able to form all other tenses. So here we can see some more. Can be able to, its ability in the present. Tom can play the guitar. Also, we can say that Tom is able to play the guitar, but it's too long, that's why we usually use can. Will be able to, it is ability in the future. What we changed? We just added will, the auxiliary verb of future simple. When you graduate, you will be able to get a job. Future. But we can use can when we decide now about something we will do in the near future. So we can use can too for future actions, but if it was decided like at the moment of speaking. I haven't got any money now, but I can pay you tomorrow. So I decide now about something. I will do it tomorrow. Next one is could, used to be able to. So used to be able to, it means that we could do it in the past. Ability in the past, repeated past action. We can use was, were able to with no difference in meaning. So we can use I could run fast when I was young, or I was able to run fast when I was young. Same meaning. Next ones, we need to know that was were able to means that we managed to do something. It was really hard, but we did it. It's ability in the past, it's single past action. And we use it to show that something, someone had the ability to do something in a particular situation in the past. Hard. Although it was dark, he was able to find his way. So it was dark, it was a little bit hard for him, but anyways, he was able to do it. He did it. Next one, we normally use could with the verbs see, hear, smell, taste, feel, understand, guess, and remember. She listened carefully and she could hear people talking in the next room. So it's something that, like, it was obvious. She could hear them because they were around. But we can't say she was able to hear because, again, it's something that was hard. It wasn't hard for her to hear these people. And in negations, we can use couldn't, wasn't, weren't able to with no difference in meaning. I couldn't reach him on the phone. I wasn't able reach him on the phone. So it's about abilities. Now, also the subject and questions are followed by not in negations. Examples: can I say something? I couldn't understand him. Yeah, we are using the same modal verb. Modal verbs do not usually have tenses, but they can refer to present or future. I must go now. It's present. You must call me early in the morning. It's about future. So we talked about abilities. Now we are going to talk about obligations, duties, necessities. And here we will talk about must, have to, should, ought, and need. An example: everyone should recycle their rubbish. So let's talk about must. We use must to refer to the present or future, and must is something that is duty. You are obliged to do something, like it's a must. You must listen to your teacher. It's a rule. Yeah, we have to follow it. Next one is have to. It's necessary to do something, like, oh, I really don't want to do it. And also the difference between must and have to, it's like, we have it further. So I will read the example first. We have to be at the airport at 9 o'clock. So it needs to be done. Yeah, we have to be there. So also the difference between must and have to, the thing that I wanted to say earlier, that must is used when the speaker decides that this is necessary. For example, I decide for myself that I must keep a diet, or I must do my work well. I must finish all the tasks on the platform. But have to is somebody has made a decision for us, so we don't actually want to do it, but we have to. For example, I have to cook every day for my daughter. I have to wash the dishes. I don't want to do it, but I have to. Here we have two examples. I must finish the report by tomorrow. The speaker decides, and I have to finish the report by tomorrow. Somebody else has made the decision. Next one, must and have to have different meanings in questions. Must I tidy my room? So, like, do you insist that I tidy my room? And do I have to tidy my room? It's like, is it necessary for me to tidy my room? Maybe. Do I have to do it? Next one. Also, have got to has the same meaning as have to. I hope you remember, yeah? Like, we can say, I have a car, or I have got a car. So they have the same meaning. Also, the same is about have got to and have to. And it's mostly used in everyday speech. I've got to phone mom tonight. I've got to go. I think you've heard such things. We use have to when we need to use other tenses. Yeah, must is for future and present. But if we need to tell about past actions, some other actions, some other tenses, I mean, we change it and we use have to. We had to call the doctor when Aunt Lucy fainted last night. Yeah, I hope you remember fainted. So, next ones are should and ought. So they are less emphatic than must. Like, should and ought express duty. People should take better care of the environment. So it's like duty, something elevated. People ought to take better care of the environment. Also, should is used for advice. Yeah, we remember it. For advice, not advices, advice. Also, we have need, and it is necessary to do something. Need I talk to the boss right away? Need I do it? And also we need to know that need can be used as a main verb or as a modal verb with no difference in meaning. When it's used as a main verb, it's followed by to infinitive and takes s in the third person singular. And we form questions with do does. For example, Mike needs to buy some new clothes. And here we see that it's used as a main verb. He needs to buy. You don't need to do this right now. We're using don't to make a negation. Need is used as a modal verb mainly in questions and negations. Need I book a room in advance? Also, do I need to book? Yeah, we can also use it as a main verb here. Or you needn't give me a lift home. You don't need to. But usually I hear now that we mostly use need as a main verb now. But you also can hear it's like, you needn't help me. So next ones are the verbs that express absence of necessity. Needn't, don't have to, don't need to, didn't need to, needn't have done. We have an example here. You don't need to look up his phone number. I've got it right here. So let's talk about them more. Needn't, don't have to, don't need to, plus present simple, plus present infinitive. They're used for present or future. It means that it isn't necessary to do something. You needn't work tonight. You don't have to work tonight. You don't need to work tonight. It means that it's not necessary for you to work tonight. Didn't need to, didn't have to. It wasn't necessary to do something in the past. The structure suggests that an action didn't happen in the past because we knew then that it wasn't necessary. She didn't need to take a taxi. It wasn't necessary. She didn't have to take a taxi. Yeah, for example, her father drove her home, so she didn't have to do it. Next, needn't plus be a perfect infinitive. It wasn't necessary to do, but it was done. The structure shows that an action happened in past, even though it wasn't necessary. You needn't have bought any bread. We can see this have and the third form, yeah, past participle. So it means that it wasn't necessary, but it was done. You needn't have bought any bread. I'd already bought some, so it wasn't necessary, but anyways, you did it. Yeah. Also, I can say that, for example, I needn't have cleaned this room as you had cleaned it before. Next one is prohibition, and here we can use mustn't and can't, so we prohibit. Mustn't, can't, it is forbidden to do something. You are not allowed to do something. It is against the rules or law to do something. We have an example. You mustn't drive over 35 miles per hour. So it's against the law. Or you can't drive. So it means, yeah, like you're not allowed to do it. It's not okay to. Next one says about logical assumptions. Must, can't, and couldn't. So next ones are about logical assumptions. Must, can't, couldn't. Logical assumptions. We assume something. They are wearing light clothes. It must be summer. It can't be winter. Yeah. Must, I'm sure, certain that something is true. It is used in affirmative sentence and expresses positive logical assumption. It is Sunday. He must be at home. I'm sure he's at home. Can't, couldn't. I'm sure that something is not true, it's not real, isn't real. Can't and couldn't are used in negations and expresses negative logical assumptions. So it is Sunday. He can't be at work. I'm sure he's not at work, and he couldn't be at work. I'm sure that he's not at work. Next one is probability. It is used, we can talk about probability with should and ought. It's 4 o'clock. The children should be at home by now, or the children ought to be home by now. So it's probable. Should and ought are used to express that something is likely to happen in the present or future. It's 10 o'clock, he should be, or he ought to be at work. Maybe he's at work. He should be at work. So then we will speak about possibility and talk more about the functions of modal verbs. See the lesson 2.